Dude, I was imagining you entering like a wrestling, like a lucha kind of thing, like the whole show of Carlos de Metacan coming in and it's this giant figure coming into stage and all the lights and the smoke and everything. So that was the concept I worked for this song.
Colleagues from the industry later on tonight. It's a quick meeting, something like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., but it's always a pleasure to connect with everybody else. Actually, yesterday there was also an event sponsored by Bitfinex. They're opening up their P2P here in Costa Rica. That's always good news when people can use crypto in the original intent of it, right? Which was peer to peer. Things are moving up well in general. And let's hit on this event. For today, we're going to be talking about the bug fixing, the Dega AI infrastructure framework. We're going to talk about a little bit of a change we're going to be doing on the liquidity pools and the next plans coming up for product development. Jumping right into it, most of the bug fixes have been deployed already on Dega Realms. There's, I believe, one or two maybe that's still pending. After this, everything will be smooth sailing in terms of the existing and current functionality. There's always new things coming up, and going forward, we're making sure to do more extensive testing with the support of the community, right? Like a special community testing group before we continue to do some of the deployments as we've done it so far. Next up on the Dega AI infrastructure framework, as you've seen, we've already published 2 articles, a little bit of high level introductories to what we're doing. Next one is coming out. Is it today, Rabbit, or is it tomorrow? The third article. It's coming up either today or tomorrow.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. The AI
Yeah,
article is coming
the
out
third
this.
one.
Yeah, this one, the reason it took me a little bit is because I just cleared up the last comment. It's going to be published later this afternoon.
Beautiful. So yeah, so you guys are in for the third installment of that. In the future, we'll actually be doing more publishing, more posts about the tech we're building. Right now, we're doing a lot of testing with several tools that I call AI driven development, right? Which is essentially the way that software is going to be built going forward. And thanks to this system, something that I wanted to point out is that actually our vision is going to be even far more feasible, right? Our vision, if you all recall, is to empower everybody to be able to design, publish, and monetize games in minutes at low cost. That's going to be even more doable now, faster. It was always doable, but now it's going to be even more feasible in terms of execution, right? Thanks to all the advancement that many of our colleagues are doing on the AI side of things. And there are several partners already expressing their interest. Just today, I got off a call with a very large organization with over 300 employees that are super interested in working with us to be able to productize our AI solutions and be able to deploy them. So we'll see where all of this leads with time, but do note that it's basically like the PC revolution all over again, right? For those of us here that are not kids, I can imagine most of us are not. We all remember how it felt going from console interactions or a console interface with a computer when you used to need to type commands and remember everything to be able to even navigate the file system. From that to jumping into a graphical user interface, it was borderline magical, right? It was magical just being able to click on things and open them and navigate them and have the system almost tell you exactly what you needed to do, right? When you have a good UX. That's where we are right now with artificial intelligence. It's a new revolution. And yeah, it's a buzzword, it's over hyped and whatever. You're not wrong if you think that, but you are wrong if you think that it's just a fad or a trend or something else. There's been a certain amount of discoveries that have been made in the last few years that truly open up a whole new universe of computer science, right? It's not the conventional or usual computer science that you used to that as you know it in that sense, right? It's like a lot of people might not know, but computer science itself, it didn't used to be its own field. It used to just be a specialization of math, right? You had to be a mathematician, and then as part of a math degree, you would study some research around computation. And then it became so wide that it's its own field. That's how we are with AI right now. AI is just something that we do in computer science, but it's getting so vast, so powerful, so specialized that it's going to be its own field. So that's where we are right now. Very exciting. I'll be publishing even more details in terms of how the AI infrastructure framework will work on the fourth installment of the fourth blog post that's coming next week. You'll get a little bit more of a product sense from that article. Right now, I've mostly been talking about technology, architectures, use cases, but now we're going to go a little bit more into the product perspective. Is there something you'd like to add there, Rabbit, Freak, Richie? Any questions you guys like to address before I jump into the next step? Nice, nice. It's wild, man. It's a whole new world, as they're saying. Like and I don't mean it even just like from the last few months. It's a whole new world from the last few weeks. Every week I'm waking up, I'm opening up my favorite researchers, and there's something super exciting. There's something that you thought was a limitation of AI. It's being overcome every week. Of course, between transferring that into a product takes time, right? It's at the same time, it's powerful, but it's overhyped and powerful at the same time. Just going from demo to product, you got to put a lot of effort into it. Rabbit?
You know what to do. Share, share, and share.
Yeah, and just got off a call today with our friends from Venus Protocol, just reiterating all the effort that we're putting into precisely because it's part of the roadmap of the grant that we got from them. And yeah, they just wanted to tell us that we still have 100% their support. They are going to be sharing a few of the following posts that we'll be doing around our AI framework to get the word out. And once we do the first integration with their system, which should be a few weeks away, it's not months away, it's a few weeks away, we'll be doing another live stream with them showcasing the capabilities of the system, looking to a tighter collaboration with that community. All right, let's go to the next step. And by the way, if anybody has any questions around what we've posted in the articles, feel free to send them in the chat and I will address them right now. And don't worry, even if we're talking about something else, if you saw something in the article and the post that you like were curious about or didn't understand, just post it in the chat and I'll make sure to do a more thorough explanation of it, on it, right? It could be from the tech perspective, from the product perspective, anything you'd like. Okay, next up, next point is we're going to be doing a little bit of a change on the liquidity pools. We're going to be moving the liquidity we have on Cardano USDT to ADA, right? So we'll take that USDT, transform it to ADA, and put it into the ADA pair in the BiFi DEX, right? So you'll have more ADA liquidity. And then part of it will be for that, and the other part will send to MEXC exchange as well for the centralized part of things. Just announcing this in case anybody sees, hey, where the Cardano USDT liquidity go? Well, it's going to go to ADA. You'll see that, and it's going to go to MEXC as well. Not much more to elaborate there. I'm assuming it's clear, but it's just probably the less utilized pool out of all the pools that we got. It's the one that's used the least. So we're going to be sending it to ADA and MEXC where there's more transactions happening. Next up, what are the next plans for our product? So from a product perspective, next thing that's going to be coming out is, as you all know, everything right now has to be around the AI infrastructure framework. We're calling it AIIF for short. It's a code name. Don't worry, we can probably brand it a little bit more cooler later on. But for now, that's like its code name. And around that, everything's going to be built, right? So the degens, NPCs, everything's going to revolve around a single reusable core of artificial intelligence components that we're developing. Again, just going to this is in the articles, but for all of you that didn't go through them, some of the main components there are obviously the agents, the agentic frameworks. Another component there is the workflows. We're going to have pre-built processes that are ready to go. The agents will be able to create later on dynamic workflows, but for now we're doing a few pre-built ones. And then there's also the tooling, which involves essentially how the agents can interact with the rest of the internet, right? So tools for Web3 connections, tools for key management, secure key operations, and even using some existing third-party software, stuff like Hummingbot, for example, for trading, We'll even integrate one sniping bot for those of you who want to do a little bit of sniping, whatever. It's your decision what you use the AI for, but all of those systems will be integrated and revolving around the and yeah, essentially our first use case when we showcase it, it'll be a chat interface for enabling people to interact with systems without having to go through any learning curve, right? That'll be like the first thing that we'll put in people's hands for you all to play with, be able to do trades, lending on Venus, interacting with the Cardano blockchain, and so on, without you needing to go through the major hassle of the learning presents itself. After that, then we're going to be integrating it into the Dega Realms game builder in the alpha version, right? The first version will probably require technical knowledge. We're not going to go directly all the way to the end vision, which is somebody not needing to code to be able to build it and goal, right? So we'll probably do a step in between in which a coder can use AI plus our tools in Realms to be able to create games, right? The target for me to have that done is December. That's what I'm aiming at with the rest of the team. After that, we'll subsequently create more abstractions, more automations, more user interface, pre-built components that you can just drag and drop. And ideally, by the end of Q1 or the end of Q2, you can have the Dega Realms game builder fully self-serve product-wise and not requiring coding experience, right? So that's like the steps that you can look forward to, right? So again, AI infrastructure framework, eighth, building out that core, number one. Number two is building out the chat interface for people to be able to interact with blockchain applications seamlessly via conversations. And number three is pulling both of those components into the Dega Realms game builder so that you can build out games with the support of AI in a faster, more effective way, right? And then after that, being able to do it without needing any programming skills at all. So those are like the four steps that you can look forward to. Let's see. John asked, do we know if users will have to give private keys to these bots or will they have their own accounts? Yeah, the bots will have their own accounts for starters, right? Similar to how Telegram bots are working right now. Why? Because it's just more technologically feasible to do that than to having, I don't know, somebody signing a freaking MetaMask, right? Then it's even that's if it's your on EVM, if you're on Cardano, that you gotta sign an eternal whatever. Like the whole point is that this is something that anybody could just jump right into, right? So think about it like your hot wallet, right? You just like in everyday life, right? You don't keep your life savings in your credit card, right? Your credit card is one thing, your life savings are another. So that's how you should look at this. So if you guys have a whole bunch of crypto, do not keep it in the freaking bot. I repeat, do not keep it in the bot. The bot is like your credit card. It's what you're using to have fun, to interact with the world. Do not keep your life savings there. And then your cold wallet, your hardware wallet, whatever it is you're using, you can use that for long-term, more secure storage, right? Yeah, these will have fiat on and off ramps for sure. Yesterday, I was talking to a company that actually allows most of the people in Latin America to be able to quickly jump into crypto because they sell gift cards. So you can buy up to $1,000 worth of Bitcoin without needing any major compliance. Like they don't have to go through a lengthy KYC process or whatever. They just go to a store, literally like the supermarket, gas stations, and they just buy it, and then they get like a prepaid card with Bitcoin. It has a QR code. It's digital. They don't even have to get a physical thing. It's all digital. But with that, they can take that Bitcoin, and obviously, as you guys know, once you're in crypto, you can move swiftly from one protocol to another, be it bridges, exchanges, whatever. But of course, we will automate all of this for them, right? So there seems the ramping thing seems to be getting addressed by multiple companies right now. So I'm not concerned. We'll probably just integrate many partners, as many as we can, but I think probably two or three will be enough to cover most of the world, at least the world that we're interested in, which is emerging markets right now. For the US, it's actually in the US, it's not even that hard. You can just go to Coinbase, and if you can do their merchants onboarding, then you should be covered with that as well. So, yes, that is indeed the case. Let's see, if you use bots on success, you also set the amount of coins via the bot allowed. Yeah, for sure. You'll be able to have multiple bots, multiple accounts, configure them. But again, the most important thing that you need to remember is like your pocket money, right? Think about it like your credit card, right? If somebody says your credit card, you're not going to be happy, but you're not going to starve to death, right? You're not going to be in a crisis. If somebody takes your life savings, then yeah, you're in a crisis, right? So that's how you need to look at this. Rabbit, anything you'd like to add on this product four-step roadmap that I just mentioned? Richie
Not
as
for
well.
this audience. I think you covered it quite well.
All right. On my side, those were the only points that I had to bring to the table. And other than that, just happy to answer questions anybody has on the chat or anybody up here in the team. LG, yeah, regarding variable staking, yeah, we asked them already again, and they said that right now they just don't have the bandwidth to implement it, right? We gotta analyze what we're gonna be doing there. Maybe we can increase the rewards there, but they just can't implement it right now for the time being. Richie, Freak, anything you guys like to address or that has you excited coming up?
Yeah, I was going to say from me just to remind you guys, we have an open quest out there with Rootstock. With the open quest, you get to claim a hero, a playable character, right? Your hero claim of Rooty, a character designed by the guys at Rootstock, and also you get to win or participate to win a share of $2,000 in RBTC. So check it out. And,
Not bad at all.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good price, and also it's I think Root is pretty cool. It was a pretty nice design, Freak, if I may say so. So go ahead, participate, and tell your friends, tell people to participate because it's going to end soon. I think it's next week that ends already. So go and check that one out. And also, we are going to start doing raffles again. Frog is already taking care of that, helping there. We are having raffles for the Venus hero claim also. So you can win that playable character, and we're going to have also other prizes in the future in the same direction, but also some other new surprises. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so let's address these questions in order. So the first one, a good question. I'm happy you brought it up. Actually, I should have brought it up, but thank you, C2010, for that. So yeah, the token burn is going to happen. The only thing with that is we haven't done it because it's something that we want to tie into a bigger announcement process, right? Why? Because as everybody here knows, it's a marketable event, right? It's something that we can use to push in the sense of letting everybody know that the team is going to be even taking a lower amount of the tokens from the total supply, that we're going to be destroying certain unallocated tokens. So we don't just want to post it and literally have nobody see it, right? We don't want to just say, hey, we burned tokens and then nobody sees it and nobody cares, right? So it's something that we want to tie into something that's a part of a bigger announcement, right? For example, when we do, let's say, the next live cast with Venus Protocol, or when we do the next integration with Injective, whatever it is that we're going to do that's going to be big, that's going to be bringing in eyeballs, we want to announce that and then follow up with the burn announcement, right? Just for everybody to know that it's something that we're making to make the token ownership more distributed, more egalitarian in that sense, right? Cardano Summit, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm most likely not gonna make it. I love Dubai. I go every time I can. Cardano people are like some of my best friends are there. They're gonna be there for that summit actually. I really regret it not going last year. I wanted to go. It is what it is, right? And usually software development teams are crunching the last quarter of the year, right? Everything from October, November, December, we're like crunch time because obviously, to be clear, I don't even take holidays. I don't know what that is, but most humans take holidays. So you want to have everything built and ready to go before it's Christmas time. Because then, if I need some of my consultants, some of our dev work, or some advisors, or if I need to get a hold of somebody, right, and it's Christmas, I'm not going to get a hold of them. So I need to make sure that everything gets done before that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be attending to Cardano Summit. Let's see about the token. Yeah, token burn already addressed it. Agree with the burn plan. That makes sense. Okay. Burn would be the most effective in Q4. Market expected to recover. From your mouth to the ear of the gods, Phoenix. Announcing it probably won't have. Yeah, exactly. That's our thinking. So, will we be able to play the game soon that we saw at demo off? I'm assuming that the mass killing one, that's the Survivors game. The Survivor game, as it is in alpha mode, is playable. It's not a real game in a sense, mostly just because of the progression system, right? The goals and all of that stuff. We mostly focused on the gameplay versus the actual game state and progression of the game. That's not hard to build at all. But something that we were discussing the other day, I think it was in the mods call, and we're telling, similar to what I mentioned earlier, listen, everybody, y'all don't know. Really, we are witnessing a transition in what computers are and what it means to be doing software, right? It's equivalent to the change from going from the console to graphical user interfaces to smartphones to interconnected devices and so on, right? Like it's a what you would call a paradigm shift, right? So that's what we're living through it right now, and everything's calm. It doesn't seem like it's happening. It'll be a freaking tsunami, okay? It'll hit you really hard, and you'll be like, whoa. Everything that we're doing now has to revolve around the AI infrastructure framework. That AI core must be done and then build everything around that. If we don't do it like that, then everything that we do is going to be old school in 8 months, right? It's going to be like, oh, yeah, we did this, but it doesn't matter anymore because now you can do that better, faster, cheaper, cooler, simpler, thanks to using this new AI paradigm. So that's why we're keeping our heads down, focusing on that, getting that geared up. All of our upcoming future, well, we already have some very powerful, interesting partners, like I already mentioned today, like Venus Protocol. They're continuing to support us and so on. And just to mention one, right, like Injective, Saga, they're all very interested in what we're building. But new partnerships, new products, new releases, everything has to be based around this system. If we don't do it that way, we're outdated. We're like out. We're gonna be outgone, outclassed, irrelevant in 3 months, right? That's why we haven't shifted our focus back into those gameplays. Finishing, we could finish that like in, I don't know, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months. But if we put our energy there, then we have to take it away from something else, right? And right now, this core is the center of attention for everything. But once you see it, once you have it, it'll be beautiful. You'll be like, holy shit, we can just make another game right now. Just like how you can use ChatGPT to iterate and ask it to do a block and then to do a thread, and it just immediately does things that you would need people to do for hours. It's seconds, okay? And that's the true experience. That's the real game changer we want to focus on, which is the original vision, right? That's our vision. That's what we set ourselves out to build when we created, when we defined Dega. Let's see what else we have here. Snapchat and airdrop for staking. That's another good one. The first thing was like we announced this several times. Like we got to make sure that absolutely all the bugs are resolved before we do the snapshot. For the staking side of things, there's still time, right? Everybody can just go to token farm. I think there's maybe a few days more left of work. So I've been like, I think it was 1 or 2 edge cases that were left. Almost everything's done, right? And then we can take that snapshot on the staking side of things. We already have it on the NFT side of things, of course. And then we got to follow up with some of our partners, right? There's been a change in the strategy of a few of them. As you guys know, the market hasn't been kind to the crypto industry. So some of our partners are pushing their timeline further on. So we got to reassess. And these are separate teams, right? This is not us. This is different teams, and they have the right to assess their timeline in their own right. We're having another conversation with Degen Titans. We got to talk about Infinity. And on our side, the one that it comes from us that there's no issue with is the Degens, right? That one's is a second product that we're deploying on top of Dega Realms, which should come to life next year. And that one, you can count on that one. But the other ones, we have to assess with our partners when will they feel comfortable in doing this. Just like the token burn, it's something that you don't just want to do just for doing it, right? It's not just about, hey, I'm just going to burn tokens. It's like the same thing with the airdrop. You just don't want to do, hey, here's an airdrop and nobody cares, right? We'll be syncing up with our partners after the bug resolution side of things and then communicating whatever their timeline is, right? What game would you want to make? On my side, to start this, I like the survival type of game quick because I'm like, I don't know, like how y'all schedule is. My schedule is pretty intense, so I love RPGs, I really do. I can't do RPGs right now, man. So you gotta obsess over your build and everything and tweak it and then go on quest and get special. I can't do that. So I need something more like the Dega Survivors game, something quick. I just jump into it, I play it, I die, I live, I succeed or whatever, but In 10 minutes, it's done, right? And then I can move back to doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Right now, actually, I would like to see more. Like the fourth type of game that we will be enabling in Dega Realms, which will be in R2D, which is doing 2D sprites on a 3D plane on top of the real world, right? Just being able to see the table, the desk, or whatever, and just boom, deploy the game on top of it, and just have everybody playing interactively with 2D sprites, but you can have particle effects and so on a 3D plane, very HD 2D in that sense. So that's what I would like to do. I think I'd still like something like very quick, very battler, like maybe even not necessarily a survivor, but something maybe like a MOBA, like Dota, like a 2D AR Dota would be cool. You mean creating those effects so that people can like take pictures of them? I think there's already some tools. Yeah, I guess we could make it into again. There's already a lot of specialized tools for that. Kind of like for the if what you're interested in is like the visualization. There's already a lot of tools that do that. They're very powerful tools, very good tools for that. I haven't done a deep dive, honestly, on AR. It shouldn't be complicated to build that. Once the AR side of things is done, I'm not a particularly big fan of that type of game. I don't want to go, running around the street with my phone and doing shit like that. Personally, I don't like it. I didn't like Pokemon Go, for example. I didn't do Pokemon Go. I'd rather just Pokemon, the usual Pokemon in that sense. I think it's nice. I think it's cool. But at least on my side, I personally don't get excited over that type of gameplay. It will be. If you could do it right now, again, that shouldn't be that even complicated to do. There's a lot of AR. There's been like 7 years of very intense development in the AR world. So you can probably find something that can make that a possibility. You don't even need AI for that. Like, it's that good. That's how AR has progressed so far. Okay, let's see. It would be interesting to mobs in Dega survivors would be a power to learning from run to player. It can be done. We could do it now, but to be honest, for specifically those massive waves of NPCs, if you add too much intelligence and decision making to those characters, it just crashes your computer. I've done it, right? I've tried to do some more sophisticated stuff, and it completely destroys your computer. The reason that you can have such massive waves in survivor games is because they're using very basic and simple math that you can run literally 2,000 times per second, right? I mean, on 2,000 NPCs per second and not have an issue. But if you start adding complicated behavior, it just completely destroys your computer, right? You can do more complicated behavior, but you have to reduce the waves quantities. You gotta reduce that. Just like maybe 3 or 4 characters. You could do that, no problem. Let's see, how often do you think we will need to rebuild the framework? The framework architecturally should not require massive rebuilds until something like 3 or 4 or 5 years. The modules that compose the framework, those will require constant upgrades, and it's not even that we're going to be doing all of this. We're not making this from scratch, right? We're importing existing libraries, existing frameworks. To give you guys a few examples, obviously we're using LangChain for the AI side of things, and for testing, PyTest, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? All those existing libraries, and we're not going to be upgrading those. But if there is an upgrade that they push, which they do come almost every month, we can just swap that in, and the system continues to work as long as the interface was not broken. And by interface, I mean from a computer science perspective, not the user interface, the set of parameters that a computer program needs to be as an input to operate, right? Yeah, it'll be constantly updated, not at the architectural level, but just each of the modules themselves within them have to be updated. Let's see. So Diablo-like would also be cool with AI-powered NPCs to ask questions and enemies controlled by AI. Yeah, because Diablo is a 2D isometric, right? So that's the second type of gameplay that we're going to be doing. As you guys know, the first type is 2D top-down, like the Survivor games, or like a Pokemon game or something like that, like the social sim that you've seen. Those are the first type of gameplay. Second type is going to be a kind of like the Diablo 2, I think it was, which is a 2D isometric sprite-based system. So you can, looks like 3D, it's like 2.5D or something like that, but the sprites are 2D. Then the third type is going to be what, and this is trademark, so we won't be able to call it that, but it's going to be that in terms of style, which is an HD 2D, which is the way that Square Enix built Octopath Traveler, right? Was it Square Enix that built that one? I can't remember. But Octopath Traveler, right? So it's like a 2D sprite in a 3D world. And then the fourth gameplay, which is the one that we want to innovate on. It's like our contribution to the gaming industry, purely from a gaming perspective, will be the AR 2D, right? Which is 2D sprites operating with particle systems, shades, and everything within a 3D world AR. Let's see. Yeah, you guys need to check out the 2016 HoloLens demo. They superimposed the AR version of the environment on top of itself, and then it had robots. Yeah, I've seen that one. I remember that one. It's even more powerful now. Like AR has been making a lot. There's been literally billions of dollars invested in AR growth and development. So, I'm not worried about the visuals at all. Like, I'm not concerned at all about the visuals. The only thing I'm concerned about is being able to make this easy to replicate and do. Let's see. Freak, are you talking about AR game? Mixed AR. That one's for you, Freak. I think, yeah, he was talking about AR game. Then you can fight them with your hands like magic fireballs. Huh? Seems like you already got fans for your games, Freak. That's not the thing that excites me, but it seems you got John and Phoenix riled up. You already got your team. Yeah. Actually, when I do a little bit of the AI driven development, I'll share that with you because now I think, like I said, like those tools are there. So you could probably get like a pretty basic level developed by yourself even before we do realms. Yeah, so John was mentioning about switching the models. So specifically, we will not be doing AI models, right? Okay, guys. So that's something that would require at the low ball, like a very low level estimates, like a few $1,000,000 just to train a model, right? That's a model. And heck, even fine tuning, it's in the hundreds of thousands, I think. So no, we're not building our own AI models. We're going to be using existing providers. If anything, open source models. There's even open source fine-tuned models. We're going to be taking our pick from that. We will specifically not be in the AI model development game, at least for the foreseeable future. It's just not needed, right? It's just better to use what's already out there. There's a plans to do 2D side-scrolling style game supports platform. I'm not opposed to it at all. I think it's something that we should do. It makes sense, right? We're doing 2D. It just won't be probably the first priorities. Like I said, you guys already know the four ones: 2D top-down, isometric 2D, HD 2D, and AR 2D. Those are the first four types of gameplay, and then anything else will come after that. I think a platformer makes sense. It's super simple to do compared to the other ones. That's the roadmap that we have right now. I'm good. It was great questions. I really love the engagement that everybody shows here. We really appreciate all the support that you've given us so far. We're here, we're building, we're waking up every day, we're working. The vision is our kind of like religion at this point. We're laser focused on it. And it's just that everything now has to be built around the AI infrastructure framework, right? That has to be done. If we don't do it, we are messing up strategically big time with like making apps for, I don't know. Imagine if we were making apps for Nokia phones and then the iPhone comes out with the App Store and then we just get completely obliterated. That's like the risk. And you'll see it. Mark my words. Take note of all the projects and notice the ones that are, oh, AI is hype. We're not going to do AI. Okay. Go check on them in 12 months or 18 months and let me know how they're doing. Some of them are going to be doing okay because some components are very basic and primitive. But if we're talking about tooling and enabling access to operations, everything has to be around AI now. Freaky, let's do the outro, bro.
I think is one of Rabbit's favorite songs in the whole Dega album. So this is Neon Dreams from a short film we put together. Version 2 or chapter 2 is coming and it's on the works. So yeah, let's go people and take care.